You know what's crazy? Some underwater welders make more money than doctors. No joke. But here's the thing. This isn't your average 9 to 5. We're talking about a job where your office is literally the ocean. Think James Bond meets construction worker, but underwater. Pretty cool, right? And the best part, they're always looking for new people. But before you start packing your scuba gear, let's talk about what this job really looks like. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll either be Googling underwater welding schools near me, or you'll know exactly why this isn't your thing. Either way, you're in for a wild ride. Okay, so what do these underwater MacGyvers actually do? Well, you know how regular welders fix things? Take that job, add water, pressure, and a whole lot of adventure, and you've got underwater welding. Picture this. You're 100 feet underwater, working on a massive oil rig that costs more than a small country. The water's cold, it's dark, and you're about to fire up a welding torch that works nothing like the ones above water. Just another Tuesday, right? But here's what's wild. Welding isn't even half of it. These folks are like underwater detectives. They inspect bridges to make sure they won't collapse, fix ships that are literally keeping global trade moving, and sometimes even help build underwater wind farms. How cool is that? Now, let's talk about the crazy equipment these underwater warriors use. It's not like you can just grab a Home Depot welding torch and jump in the ocean. First up, you've got this beast, the underwater welding torch. It's basically a regular welding torch that's been engineered to work in conditions that should make welding impossible. Then there's what I like to call the astronaut suit of the sea. These diving suits can cost more than a car, but they're worth every penny when you're working 200 feet down. And check this out. For some jobs, they use something called a hyperbaric chamber. Think of it like a tiny underwater workshop where they can create a dry space to work. Pretty mind-blowing, right? All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money. Remember how I mentioned some underwater welders make more than doctors? I wasn't kidding. Your average underwater welder starts around $50,000 to $100,000 a year. But here's where it gets interesting. Those brave souls willing to work offshore, we're talking oil rigs in the middle of nowhere, they can pull in $300,000 or more per year. Yeah, you heard that right. But let's keep it real. You're earning every penny. This isn't exactly a work from home in your pajamas kind of gig. So, I can see you're interested. Let's talk about how to actually become an underwater welder. Spoiler alert. You can't just buy some scuba gear and call it a day. First things first, you need to become a certified commercial diver. Think of it as getting your driver's license for the ocean. Then comes the welding part. You'll need to master welding on dry land before anyone lets you try it underwater. Trust me, it's better this way. The whole process usually takes about 6 to 8 months of training. Sounds quick, right? Well, those months are intense. We're talking 40 to 50 hours a week of combined classroom and hands-on training. And here's a pro tip. Get in shape before you start. This job is no joke physically. You're basically an underwater athlete. Okay, time for some real talk. This job isn't all adventure and fat paychecks. There are some serious challenges we need to discuss. First up, the pressure. And I'm not just talking about the water pressure. You're often working on critical repairs where millions of dollars are on the line. Then there's the physical toll. You're fighting currents, dealing with extreme temperatures, and working in spaces tighter than your average closet. And let's talk about the schedule. Some jobs might keep you away from home for weeks or even months at a time. It's not exactly a 9 to 5, but you know what? The divers I've talked to say it's worth it. There's something special about being part of this underwater elite. So, what do you think? Is underwater welding calling your name? If you love adventure, don't mind getting wet, and want a career that's anything but boring, This might be your thing. Maybe you're the kind of person who likes solving puzzles under pressure, literally. Or maybe you're just tired of staring at a computer screen all day. Whatever your reason, if this sparked your interest, I've put some links in the description to help you get started, including some top training programs and certification requirements. Drop a comment below and let me know. Would you ever try underwater welding? And hey, if you're already in the field, share your craziest story. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because next week we're diving into another job that'll blow your mind.